everyone, my name is Erin Wamberg. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome. Today we're talking about this idea of being ready for what you say you want, like really embodying that energy, really owning your part of what you can do while you're waiting for what you want to have happen, to reach you, to, any and all of that. So a lot of times when we're waiting for something to come to us, whether it's a new job, a relationship, a new apartment, or we're waiting for our health to get to a certain place, or lose a certain amount of weight, or like love ourselves, whatever we're waiting for to have happen. Sometimes, especially if we feel like we've been waiting longer than we would like, longer than our ego would like, it's really easy for us to put all of that focus externally, and really easy for us to be like, well, I'm doing everything, so where is it? Why isn't here? Why isn't it here? Right? So a lot of times on Earth, all the time on Earth, it's very dense here. And so things aren't instant, right? So there's certain things where you think like, oh, well, I want this, so I can order it right away online, or I want this thing, so I'm just going to go have this happen. But if it's something that's for our greater good or something we're working towards, no matter what we do within ourselves, it's always God's timing over our timing. It's always, that final push of energy of when is it actually going to happen, that is always not up to us. And so, especially like I said, if we feel like we've been waiting for a long time or longer than we would like, feel like we're putting in all this effort, or we're doing all this stuff that we think, okay, I've been doing all this, where is it? But the truth is, like, if you are waiting for all of that, sometimes the ego really likes to be like, well, I'm doing everything, so where is it? And so, if you say like, well, I'm just waiting for a job, or I'm just waiting for this relationship, or I'm just waiting for a new place to live, or I'm just waiting until I get this promotion, or I'm just waiting until I get this many clients, right? That can turn into a case of something called the when I have. So I have another video on that. I linked it below. But the when I have is basically saying that you won't feel happy or content or peaceful or like you made it. You're putting some stock into this external thing of like, when I have that, then I'll be happy, then I'll be at peace, then I'll whatever. And obviously there is a certain layer of this, right? We do have our needs that we need to have to survive as people. We do have our basic, hierarchy of needs that we have to have in order to be alive, right? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, when we do want to grow and change and expand as a human, sometimes we can be so focused on, okay, well, like, where is that? That, we are unintentionally giving our own power away to shape how we feel, shape how we think, shape what's going on, because we've placed it on this external thing. And I don't want to say, of course, that you shouldn't want external things. You shouldn't want to grow. You shouldn't want to change, become better, all of that. Obviously, you should. This part of Earth School also is continuing to grow and be reflective and think about yourself and how you're showing up. But where it can get harmful is, when you are just saying, okay, well, I can't feel happy or complete or like I'm worthy or like I'm a good person unless I have this thing. And so a lot of times, we can say, well, where is this thing? Where is this thing? Where is this thing? But we don't realize the ego can make us not see all the things that we still have power over within ourselves. So sometimes we can say, okay, well, I'll be happier once I have this job, or where's this thing? Where's this thing? Where's this thing? And we're so focused on that particular thing not being in our physical reality yet that we block ourselves from so many things we could be doing for ourselves, and like we don't do our part in it, right? So a lot of faith that I teach and a lot of reliance on God is that God and the universe and your higher power, however you identify with it, can do for us that which we cannot do for ourselves. So a lot of miracles come from this, a lot of releasing attachment, a lot of allowing things to happen the way that they need to and the timing that we need to is not up to our control. But a lot of us will tend to, and this is just the human condition, so no judgment, a lot of us can tend to be like, okay, well, that thing's not here, so I can't do anything else until that thing is here. And so this video is what we really want to focus on, is just being really like radically responsible for yourself, being really honest with yourself, and being willing to be like, okay, if I say I want this thing, what am I willing to do, or what can I do to have that thing? So a lot of times we say, oh, I want this thing, I want this thing, I want this thing. But if it showed up tomorrow, we might not be totally an energetic match for it, or we might not be totally ready if it walked through the door and we were like, oh my God, holy shit, it's here. And I was saying I want this all this time. And then it like catches us off guard. Right. So one way you can do this, there's always my point is there's always something we can be doing while we're waiting for what we want. And that is part of owning your personal power. That is part of being responsible for yourself. That is part of, cleaning up your side of the street, making sure you're doing your part so God can do God's part to like make it happen for us. And so one way, of course, we can do this is like physical reality stuff. So for example, you say, let's say you just start a new business and you want clients, right? But it's like, do you have a website? Do you have like a sample contract written up if you get a client? Are you an LLC? Do you have a business partner? Do you need a physical space? Do you have a way for people to contact you? Do you have, so just thinking things like that. You can also, like, for example, if you're looking for a job, is your resume up to date? Have you like gotten in with your network? Have you tried to volunteer somewhere that is related to what you're doing so you gain experience, right? Let's say if you're waiting for a relationship, you're waiting for a partner, but do you have space in your house, for example, right? Like one thing you can do is just say, okay, I sleep on this bed, my partner's gonna be on that side, or there's room in my closet for someone's extra clothes to go, or however it resonates for you. But just knowing there are things we can do and we can communicate with our physical reality space to say, like, I'm opening space up for this person to come into my life. Let's say, this is a big one. Let's say you want more money, right? A lot of people are like, I want more money. I want more money. But it's like, are you very specific about how much money do you want? Maybe you get $5 extra in a week. That's more money, but it's not super specific, right? So you can say, I want $2,000 extra a month, and it's going to go towards this and this thing exactly. Or I want $10,000 and it's going to go for this and this thing. So just getting more specific and just really owning and getting very clear about saying what you want, getting very ready for it, and really owning all the parts of being ready for it, instead of just saying, well, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then if you feel like you've done all the physical reality things, right, you can also, you can watch a YouTube video about something with that. You can do, you can hone your craft more. You can journal about it. I mean, you can do some of these things. And always, a big thing I'm a proponent of, I think is very important, no matter what stage you're at in your life or what you're trying to do. It's making sure you clean and clear out your stuff. A lot of physical clutter can block us emotionally. We can hang on to stuff that, isn't good for us, or, we're fearful of letting it go. But actually, once we release that, then it actually opens a lot of space for us to have the thing we say we're afraid of having, right? So clearing things out is really important for us to have space for that. And so again, if you've kind of done some of like the physical reality things, you can also manage some of like the feminine things, the emotional side of things, like while you're waiting for things to happen. So a big thing that a lot of us go through that we don't like to hear because we're so focused on physical reality and having things and doing all of that is a lot of times God's delay is not God's denial, as we know. And a lot of times what we learn while we're waiting for the thing to come is making us a better match for that. So for example, what story are you telling yourself is this, if this thing is in here? Is it that you're not lovable? Is it that you're not worthy? Is that something's wrong with you? If you can tap in and hear any of those stories about yourself, that can clue you into, okay, maybe I need to work on softening that story about myself. Maybe I need to be a little kinder to myself. Maybe I need to realize, okay, just because I don't have the job I want right now doesn't mean I'm a failure, doesn't mean I'm bad at what I do, doesn't mean, whatever. So just getting really clear, about some of the emotional work with yourself that might be coming up with this delay, according to us, right? According to our ego's delay with things. But you can also, do some not physical reality work around the thing you're waiting for. So if you're waiting for a client, for example, say like, okay, I want clients who are willing to take responsibility for themselves, who are working on this and this thing. And, you can journal and imagine that, do some creative visualization, just think about the things you want to have with that particular thing, right? If you have your job, did you make your specific stuff? I want to make this much money, get this much vacation time, this much this much that. What are my boundaries for when I get my next job? Like, I know I want to work this and this time, or, if you're looking for a partner, right? Do you have your list of these are my non-negotiables in a relationship? So you know what to say yes to and what to say no to. So again, sometimes we can get so focused on the thing not being here that we don't even realize we're not specific enough and we're not ready enough for that thing to come into us, because we think we're ready, but you make the list, or you look around, or you try to do all this stuff, and it turns out just not ready at all, actually. And so here, this is just about reminding yourself to really be ready for what you say you want. It is just about owning your part in it. And then, of course, the bottom line of all of this, when the ego wants to say, well, why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it here yet? This is about surrendering. This is about remembering God is in charge, not us. And it really, of course, is a faith exercise. Faith is one of those things that we gain more faith by practicing having faith. And so there's no way to get around it besides just continuing to have faith. And so, if you really have faith that, God is going to deliver to you these desires in your heart for a reason, then can you practice again that faith, that acceptance, that letting go, that enjoying in the present moment while you're waiting for this thing that you want? And just knowing that, again, a lot of these things come up for us to work through them, to get more clear about our limiting beliefs, to understand the ways that we might not be showing up in the best way for ourselves that we can, to be able to do that for us. And so, again, it's not punishment. It's just there are things to learn besides just the human reality. Like, this is the thing I want. Where is it? I want it right now. I want it to be happening, right? There's other lessons. There's things that are lining up to be a match for us. There's, all these things are being orchestrated for us. And so if you really have faith and you really believe in that, it's going to be about being reflective and being personally responsible for yourself and knowing like, okay, this is what I need you to do while I wait for that. And it's also about, of course, like everything, letting go of control. Thinking you have control over anything outside of you is an illusion, of course. And so just really, again, being ready for what you say you want, but also being flexible enough to be like, okay, this is my preference, and making that, your prayer, like, this is what I want to have happen. But I'm also open if it's this, or this thing, for example. Okay, so that's everything I have for you. I hope this serves you. Take your time to just get really clear about, what do I need? What can I do in my own way to make sure I'm a match for this thing? And sometimes it is, just letting it go. Sometimes you've done everything you could, and if you have, that's amazing. Let go, enjoy your life right now, enjoy the moments you're in right now, and trust that things will come together in the perfect time. And again, I know this all sounds really nice on a YouTube video, but it's really different when you have to actually act that out and do it, right? But anyway, so I hope this served you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.